Hey, welcome back to the channel. So, wanted to provide you guys a review of the Neo Nas X trailer. So we just took it across the country, put about 6,000 miles on the trailer. So I thought that would be a good test. You know, towed it from here in New York all the way to Montana and then up to British Columbia and back. And I'm pretty happy with the performance. So the trailer the total length is 29 feet. Your floor length in there is 23 feet for your snowmobiles. You got about a 6-foot angled nose on it. So the trailer weighs about 7,000 pounds, and we put 4 mountain sleds in there. So 4 Skidoo 155 mountain sleds in there, and they fit pretty good. I'll show you guys that in a second. But I just want to provide you guys an overview of the outside of it. It's an aluminum trailer. It is, I don't know the right term, but it is not an axle over. So that means that the trailer kind of sits down inside here as compared to an axle over. There'd typically be some leaf springs, or the trailer would be sitting over your tires. Some friends of mine said and recommended for long trips like that to go with this design for stability. It's a little narrower, cuts through the wind better. Especially on the the bumpy, windy roads. But if I had my choice, if I was to build my dream trailer, I'd probably go with an axle over, and when we go inside I'll explain that. But the first thing I wanted to mention is the uniqueness of the doors. So these doors, there's one latch here as compared to your side latches, and so how you open it is you push the button down like this, and that kind of pops it open. So cool, very efficient, like it. Well, the one little gotcha with it is that when you go to, if you leave that up, the handle up like that, or the lever up, when you go to shut it, or when you go to drop it down, this handle will hit the ground. So you gotta make sure you swivel that back down so that you can open the door. The doors are super lightweight, easy to use. As you can see, it kind of wants to come up on its own. So no complaints about the doors. I like it. One improvement that I would have liked when I bought the trailer, we're gonna have to upgrade, is the floor. I mean, the plywood gets the job done, but the big gotcha is this right here. If you're gonna use it for snowmobiles, this is aluminum, and they can get tore up. This can get tore up pretty easily. So we're gonna get some sort of setup where it flops out like a plastic or some other material that wears nicely and doesn't damage the aluminum. So that's one thing that we want to improve upon. We may even do like a rubber floor of some sort, just to kind of cut down the wear and tear. The scags really tear up the plywood, and even the transition there between your door and your floor. So that's one thing that we need to improve upon. The reason we got this trailer, just to take a step back, we had an old trailer. We kind of got nervous at the last minute about taking it across the country, and this was local. It was right down the road, and the trailer is available and it fits all the sleds. So come on inside and check out what it looks like in there. So the first thing that you'll notice is, obviously we got the 4 mountain sleds in there, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the one thing I would like to see better is that it only came with 2 lights at the top. They get the job done. You got to be connected to the truck. Obviously you turn it on and off here, and there's another switch over there. But what would be cool is if they had put maybe 4 lights and on both sides and really light it up, because if you want to shut the doors and work in here, maybe you're at the trailhead and you got to make a quick fix. You'll see we put a little heater in here, but you shut those doors and the lighting's not that great. So we obviously keep some extra lighting and use headlamps and stuff like that, but for the price point, can't complain. They are LEDs, but they could be a little better. So I'm gonna go drop the back door there so that the lighting is better in here for this video. So here we are at the back of the trailer. Same latch design. You push the button down, swivel that up, open and close, and it's pretty good. The door is almost like assisted. It's got some sort of weight or spring system in there that helps you bring it up and down, which is cool. Compared to our other trailer, that door is pretty heavy. Sometimes at the end of the day you want 2 people to help you, or another person to help you close the door. As you can see, the hinges here are really robust. they look, you know, pretty tough, and they're going to last a long time. You know, no complaints there. But again, so the handle up and kind of push it back down, and then drop the trailer door. So as you can see, we've got mountain sleds in here. So if you got a trail sled or multiple trail sleds, you're probably not going to be able to get away with putting them side by side like this. We even have a little bit of trouble every once in a while, and we'll see as we go inside the trailer there where the wheel wells are, that like the Lynx has got these big fat skis, and if that's next to the free ride, which sits a little wider, you gotta you have to jockey some things around to get them through. Well, you know, for our application, if you got mountain sleds, this trailer will get it done. This trailer is finished, which we liked. The reason why we were excited about the finished trailer is we got a little buddy heater in here that you would use for ice fishing, and you fire that up and it actually warms it up enough to where you can at least work, you know, warm up your hands, warm up the wrench, and get something done. If it's bitter cold and you can get out of the wind, at least get you on the trail in short order. So the width of this, just to recap, it was 7 feet 1 inches wide, but it does get a little narrower, so come check it out where the wheel wells are. So as you can see in here, there is where a small piece of aluminum for where the wheel wells are. If that wasn't there, the mountain sleds, you wouldn't have any issues at all pulling them in and out. And you really don't. You can really just shimmy one back or move it forward, and you usually can get, like let's say you just want to ride these two sleds, you can usually get those out, in and out just fine. It's not a huge deal by any means. First world problem, I call it. But it did come with some tie downs in the floor. I didn't have to, there's a few here. So I just run a strap from there to the rear, kind of holds them to the side. I kind of shimmy them up against the wall. But I didn't have to, for the trip, I didn't have to add any extra tie downs, which was super handy. A lot of times, even if you're just local and the floor is not too iced up, you can just throw the brake on and the sleds don't go anywhere. Obviously the fronts are wide because they hold themselves right into place, so that's good. One thing I want to mention is I was nervous about mounting this spare tire up high over here. So as you can see, there's not a ton of room, you know, width-wise. So you can't really like put stuff on the floor. You got to mount everything on the wall. So I was nervous, but I did mount this to the wall with some self-tappers right into the stud. And this tire made it 6,000 miles. It doesn't seem like it's loose or flopping around. Didn't seem like I, had a close call. I think it's going to be okay there for the life of the trailer. One thing it did come with, which I am happy about, two cool things actually. The cabinet works really well. This little latch design, no complaints. Put a bunch of extra stuff in there, fluids, tools, snowmobile stuff. But that seems to work out really well. It also came with this little cool block for the door. So this piece of plywood here comes in and out. I'll show you. So this here, this piece of plywood is nice because when you're pulling your sleds in the front door, the ski can hit this. It doesn't get caught in the wall or hit or anything, and the snowmobile slide right in there, and that's kind of cool. It is kind of clunky if you're trying to walk in and out of the door because there's not much. But we'll show you, they did come with like some steps for the outside here that are pretty fancy. I haven't used them yet, but they are there. One thing that I would like, or may add as an upgrade, is it doesn't have fuel doors. So what fuel doors are, it's just a small, maybe like 1x1 door that you can open. That you can put the gas pump nozzle through and fill up the machines. Because it didn't have that, we ended up using gas cans. We just kind of mounted them here, and that got the job done. No complaints. I don't think it was a huge burden by any means, but for efficiency purposes, I think I may put 2 fuel doors in at least. So at least you can fill 2 sleds, you know, just try to make it a little easier on yourself. So that is one improvement that we're going to consider for next year. We did bring a toolkit here. I was a little nervous about this too. So, you know, I just got these, you can rate on Amazon, these little tie downs, or these little anchors. Ran those right into the studs. I think I might have the screws that I used. Yeah, right here. So those are the screws that I used to mount everything to the wall, and they work pretty well. So they're self tappers. All right, 1.5 inches, and they worked really well. They held everything into place. I use them for the spare tire, the toolkit. So 3 tie downs with my piece of wood there so the drawers don't come open. But you can obviously get a kit that the doors won't come open. But that worked really well. This didn't move anywhere. I don't feel that anything came undone. I didn't have any issues. Having tools on a long trip like that is necessary. You never know what you're going to get yourself into. We didn't have to use them too awful much. The sleds were pretty reliable, you know, which was awesome. But let's just take a look at the one last feature that the trailer came with that I didn't use, but you may want to consider. So the trailer does have this step. You just pull this little lever right here and you pull that out. I didn't use it at all, and when I went to just pull it out, it was very difficult. Little rocks and dirt get caught in there, so you may want to try to keep that clean. I don't know how well it's going to work during the winter, but there, so you can get in and out of the trailer a lot easier. It would be handy for sure. I just didn't end up using it. Didn't really need to, but open it every once in a while and clean the stuff out of there, because the dirt and rocks get in there and bind it up so that you can't open it. To pull it out. Last thing I want to mention was the truck. What kind of truck are you going to need to pull this trailer? So we have a 2023 Chevy Silverado 2500 Duramax. It does have the 10-speed transmission, and in terms of power, the truck did great. No complaints. I mean, you could do 80-90 miles an hour. The speed limit's 80 miles an hour in Montana, and the truck boogied right along. I was getting about 10 miles per gallon towing the trailer at, you know, between 70-80 miles an hour all day long. The one thing I want to mention though is suspension did feel a little soft in the rear. I may consider doing airbags or some sort of helper setup in the rear. If you're going to be towing this trailer and you haven't got a truck yet, maybe consider the 3500. One thing I didn't anticipate about towing this trailer with this truck was the tires. So the weight of the trailer on the rear of the truck actually caused the rear tires to wear significantly more than the front, obviously, but enough to where when I got home, when I looked at the tires, I was like, oh wow, those really wore down. So obviously the tires are a softer tire because they're, you know, more aggressive tire than, you know, what you would say like a highway tire or like an all seasonal. But one thing you want to consider is if upon doing this, a friend of mine recommended more air pressure or to compensate for the load. Try that, but you may want to consider rotating your tires maybe halfway through the trip. But it is something to consider. Other than that, the only thing I did was before I left, I got the oil change, made sure the truck was good, and then when I was ready to return and head back home, I did get an oil change as well, just to make sure, you know, you are pushing the motor pretty hard. I mean, the RPMs were probably at 1800 on the Duramax during the trip, so I don't feel like it was beating the truck at all. That's probably what it's designed to do. And again, if you're going to go that far, I do recommend at least a 2500, if not a 3500, with some sort of diesel motor. It towed it just fine, and I really enjoyed towing the trailer. It wasn't a big deal. Again, hope this helps someone else out there shopping for trailers, you know, the trailer was very affordable. This setup here was about 16,000, which is not bad when you're considering, you know, a 4-place setup, finished. Of course, we all like to get, you know, the Trails West set up with an axle over, with a heater, and, you know, all the cool fancy features, you know, onboard fuel tank and stuff like that. But for the price point, I think it's a good deal, and I would recommend the trailer, especially if you're going to go across the country, especially if you're going to have 4 sleds. And it got the job done, and, you know, fits 4 mountain sleds in there just fine, and it's not a burden, you know, getting them in and out, and you know, it made the trip nice. And if there's any other things you want to see about snowmobiling, dirt bikes, you know, towing, trailers, Duramax, anything like that, feel free to reach out, comment below, let me know what you want to see, and I'll try to put something together for you. And if you would, just subscribe, keep us going, keep us excited about making these videos. Have a good day.